Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. The Nashville Predators playoff schedule is officially set for the first round series against the Canucks. Games 1 and 2 beginning this weekend, Sunday and Tuesday in Vancouver. A 9 p.m. Central puck drop for both before the series comes back to Nashville next Friday. The NBA play-in tournament wraps up tonight. The Heat host the Bulls at 6 p.m. for the 8 seed in the East. No Jimmy Butler for Miami. And the Pelicans host the Kings at 8:30 for the 8 seed in the West. Zion Williamson is out for New Orleans. Nashville Soccer Club is back in action on Saturday night at MLS leaders Inter Miami. It is the 5th time Nashville has faced Miami since Lionel Messi's arrival last summer. Kickoff at 6:30. Pregame coverage starts on The Zone at 6. College baseball, Tennessee visits Kentucky this weekend for a series between two top 5 teams. Game 1 is tonight at 5:30. Vol Network coverage will join in progress after 3HL at 6 p.m. Game 2 Saturday at 1. Game 3 Sunday at noon. You can hear both right here on The Zone. And Vanderbilt opened their home series against Florida with a 10-5 win Thursday. Game 2 is tonight at 6. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Let's go, Blaine and Mickey. Friday. Woo, Friday. Darn right it's a party. You darn tootin' it's a party in Nashville. I don't care if it's drizzling. It's Friday. That's my favorite day. Count me in. This time next week, I know I keep talking about this every day, but this is how close we are to the draft, gentlemen. This time next week, we'll be talking about a human being being drafted by the Tennessee Titans. A football player. We'll be talking about a football player who will suit up for the Titans this fall. We will have had a press conference of some kind, probably on Zoom, with this young person, and people will have asked a million questions. So we'll feel like we really know this guy because, he'll be at his family draft party or he'll be wherever he is, and then we'll all ask him questions. It's going to be magical. And this person will be a Titan. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I can't wait. I hope it's an offensive tackle, specifically a left tackle, not a right tackle. Because if they go right tackle in the first round, I don't know what to think.
We've had this discussion.
I'll be very upset.
If it's a right tackle, and here's what's crazy. And everybody's description of this draft is like, oh, it's a deep draft for tackles. Oh, man, there's tackles. Oh, there's tackles for days. This is the tackliest of tackle drafts. Bring on the tackles. You could get value at tackle. Every year it seems like they're showing this about receivers because, as Blaine's talked about, you got 7-on-7 and everybody wants to be a receiver now. So all these great athletes are like, I'm not going to play defense. I'm going to be a receiver so I can go show out at these 7-on-7 camps all summer long. So receiver draft, they're probably going to say it's deep every year. Tackles this year, though. Well, then I start reading all these guys' bios because you guys know me. I obsess over the draft. It drives me insane. I want to know everything. And, of course, my brain's full because at my age, I can't learn anything else. My brain is completely full. I don't know how I'm retaining any of this. But I start reading about all these tackles. It's like, played 42 games at left tackle at Arizona, probably a guard. Played this many games at left and right tackle at this, probably a guard. Played left tackle for this many games, probably a right tackle. That drives me bananas. Honestly, the only guys that it says this guy's a left tackle, alt and fashioning.
They did it last year with Skoronski, taking him at 11, and then you thought, hey, here's your left tackle piece right here. That side's going to be shored up, and then they moved him inside to guard, and then you're like, okay, well, what are we going to do at tackle now? And then we saw what happened with the Andre Dillard situation and the Jalen Duncan and whoever else they put in that Dylan Radence. It didn't work out, so they can't do it again. If they do it again, something's wrong.
Somebody said yesterday in the chat, I don't remember who it was, it doesn't matter. Somebody said in the chat yesterday, I wonder if they'll take one of these right tackles early and just move Skoronski and make him a left tackle. That's still coming up from people. And nothing that the current administration has said, guys, lends any indication that they're going to do that. Matter of fact, I think they were asked about it. Callahan or Rand won at some point in the offseason. They said, no, he's going to play guard. the biggest no-brainer in the history of Earth just seems to be if Alt is there at 7, you just take Alt and you keep on moving. You just take Alt and you keep on moving. But Matt Miller, who's at NFL at NFL Draft Scout. Why is that so hard at NFL Draft Scout on Twitter? And Jordan Ajani's Melo is going to join us. Justin Melo off the top here in just a few minutes. We can ask him draft questions galore about all this stuff. But Matt Miller said, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if the Chargers are looking towards the future at their offensive line and they just go ahead and take Joe Alt. So then if you're the Titans, what do? So you take Fashanu there? You take the best defensive player on your board? And do you take – because we keep saying this over and over again. At number 7, they're going to be able to pick any defensive player in the draft that they want. No one is going to – we can't say never. It doesn't seem like anyone's going to take anybody on defense before the Titans have a chance to pick. So they'll probably have the choice at any defensive player in the draft or one of the big 3 receivers. If Alt is taken, then that almost means for sure you'd have your choice of one of the big 3 receivers. Or do you just take Fashanu at 7? So then we had the discussion yesterday, Blaine, like, okay, so maybe you could trade back a little bit, but, you have to have a dance partner. You have to have somebody who has a need that wants to trade with you. So the nuclear option here to me seems to be that the Chargers just say, yeah, we're going to take Joe Alt, and that's off the table. Now, they may be down there at the building going, we were going to take the highest rated player anyway, no matter who it is. So let's take our highest rated guy. But whoever it is, a week from today, we'll be talking about this dude.
Yeah. So what was the question? The initial question? Since there's a log jam there right on the traffic on the turn.
Oh, there's traffic in Nashville has reached new heights of absurdity. Now, we go home usually every day at 3 o'clock. If we stand around here and talk to Bananas an extra 10 minutes, I swear traffic is 3 times worse after 3 o'clock. I don't know what it is. It's worse, and it was weird getting here today. So
24 was bad getting here today.
Okay. It wasn't backed up. It was just kind of slow. But anyway, there's this whole school of thought among Titans fans of just take the best player, and if it's a receiver, take the receiver. Because you could just take a tackle in the second round. That's kind of what I started the show talking about. There are all these guys who are tackles, but they're probably a guard or they're probably a right tackle instead of a left tackle. How much are people giving Bill Callahan too much credit, Blaine? Like, they could just draft anybody and Bill Callahan will get them. Bill Callahan will handle it. They could take a guy in the second round. Bill Callahan's going to coach him up. But that seems to be a school of thought among people. Is, Bill Callahan, he's gonna fix everything. Bill Callahan, because they've got him, he could take a second round guy and he'll be fine. Third round guy, Bill Callahan will fix it.
Well, I don't want to make an assumption. He is, one of the best offensive line coaches in the league. So, got to say he can at least tinker in the guys, whether you're first, second, or later round, undrafted. He's going to get the most out of you. So you can say that. But every individual player, to me, when you're in coaching in the NFL, you have to coach them all differently because they have different skill sets and ability. So you have to work around their deficiencies at every position. So I think that's what he does a great job of. Mm-hmm. And that's why he's had a lot of players. Now, you could say, go look at the resume with the Browns or some of the other places he was at. All of them were kind of somewhat high picks. When I say that, they were in the first, middle of the first, bottom of the first, or, second, third round picks. So it wasn't like he wasn't working with, and then the guy we just traded for was undrafted. But he is a converted tight end.
Right.
Who then tells you that he's a really good athlete. So he had to get coached up. You're not doing that much blocking a tight end. So obviously, he sees the value in the tools, the athleticism. Then he says he can work with them. So I wouldn't be opposed to moving back. And if your guy's gone there, tackle, or you want to take Fashanu that high, to take whatever player is the best on your board, whether that's wide receiver, defensive end, edge guy, or another tackle. So, yeah, I'm cool either way. I think the Titans are in a really unique position.
Same.
I think they can win either way, whether they stick and stay, they trade out. And I would only trade if someone's offering a lot of collateral that I just like, you know what? I don't think we can pass that up. Now, what is our plan B if we do? And then what are the people that's in front of us? Who are they going to draft? All right. So it's all speculation, but you don't know for sure until it actually happens because that's the way the teams are, too. So I'm cool, man. If you pick up more draft picks and move back and you still get a really good tackle, really good receiver. We need other things, edge, middle linebacker, safety. You can't do it all. I think I would leave safety unless for free agency. There's a lot of guys still out there in free agency that are quality starters in the National Football League, so that wouldn't be as pressing to me.
Right.
It's always interesting. So when you're going to bring in a middle linebacker and you're going to put the green dot on for a kid who is just now going to be his first year in the National Football League, he better be super sharp. And there's guys like that. I got in the same draft with me there with the Oilers. It was Michael Barrow from the U. Dude was the sharpest guy I played with. I mean, he played multiple positions. He was before Ray Lewis. By the way, Ray Lewis was his backup. He wasn't good enough to beat him out. This dude was good. And he would play edge. He would rush the passer. He could play middle. He could drop. He could cover man-to-man. There was not anything that he couldn't do. So I would say if you got to, beeline to a player like that, I'm cool with that. But I don't know if I want to be – this is the guy everybody's looking at in the huddle, and he's calling the plays, and this is his first year in the National Football League. If you're going to do that, then it better be probably a higher pick.
Right.
Well, I wouldn't take a middle linebacker as a high pick. Just me personally. And this year, seems like those guys, if you're going to be middle to later round second or third, if you're going to, reach on a guy, I think that's where they're ranked.
Right. No, that's it.
So, so that possibly could happen if you pick up a third round pick. So I'm cool either way, to be honest. I just want to see drama all over the place. And then, and I want to have a little bit of anxiety on the actual draft day, like what and who are they going to take? Like, all just seems, everybody, even myself, say they got to take all if he's there. I don't know, though. I want to see him do something, like move back and then move back up and then throw some curveballs in there and yet still get guys that we are going to be like, oh, yes, we stole a draft.
Your thing of, because a Bills writer had thrown out, the Bills need to get to 7 to get the last of the 3 big receivers. The Bills got to get to 7.
Highly rated, yeah.
So we start reading this, and it's like, that's a pretty good haul, but then you're picking, I think they're 28th is where the Bills are.
I know, see.
And so we're like, shoot. And so you were like, you have all those picks, just trade back up.
Yeah. You got to have a trade partner, but yeah.
Yeah, just trade back up with somebody.
But I just want to make it exciting and fun. But if they can stay and they take, the proven guy, hey, I'm all for it. But trying to think what position I wouldn't want them to take with the first round. Probably, I think Banana said cornerback. I don't think that's an immediate need, so I would go there because you're looking at the top positions that you want to make sure you get high quality type players in the first round. Since they signed a couple guys, I don't think they would do that. But what if he's the highest rated guy left on the board? See, that's what I'm saying. So you never can say never. So it's exciting time for the Titans. They should be excited though. Either way, from Bowers to Doomsday to Neighbors to Alt, Fashanu, man, I'm all in with all those players. Man, man, I think you got some really good goods to work with.
I'm the same way you are, and here's why.
Dallas Turner.
Because at 7, you're either going to get Alt if you want him. Mm-hmm. If someone takes him, that means you'll get one of the top 3 receivers that everybody loves, probably Odunze, who I've yet to find anybody make a big statement about his flaws, or Dallas Turner, who's the best edge player in the draft.
Number 1 guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or the best. I mean, you don't need a quarterback this year.
Oh.
I mean, maybe you do. If we do, we don't know it yet. But still, you can have any defensive player in the draft, one of 3 receivers that everybody loves, or the best offensive left tackle in the whole draft. One of those things at 7. And I'm like you, I don't think they can go wrong. And if they love Fashanu, if they down there, and we don't know, if they got this big board and none of us ever get to go in that room and they got Fashanu on the board, if you could trade back a little bit, maybe you could still get him. If you could trade back and still get him, if that's your guy. See, these are all the storylines that could happen. Like you said, that's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah.
Playing out in real time.
Yeah, so this is going to be really cool. So I'm getting edgy, though. It's getting a week. You just said it's 6 days away? that?
Yeah, it's next Thursday. Less than a week,
Yeah,
man.
6 days, yeah.
By this time next week, we will know who the Titans picked or what they did.
And if they
And we'll
trade
be
back.
here with Brett Bryan to tell us who, his thoughts on the pick and who they're going to pick next.
Oh, I can't wait. This is, I love this stuff. Let's just get Justin Melo in here. We'll talk draft stuff with him. Works for the Draft Network and a whole bunch of other places. Justin Melo set to join us next, and you will not want to miss that. Coming right back. Blaine and Mickey, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. All right, you need to synchronize your watches. This day is coming. Limited number of lake lots being released to the public Saturday, April 20th, Saturday. You got to go if you want to get in on this deal. LakeLivingTN.com. I want you to go there now. If you're even remotely thinking about buying some lake property, you need to go to LakeLivingTN.com and you need to see what's going on. This is all about 20 minutes from Knoxville, a short drive to the Smoky Mountains. They got financing available. There's all sorts of different ways to get into this with lots or lake cottage packages. And this is that lake living you've been dreaming of where you're not just out in some remote area. You got all the resort style amenities. It's all there. But the deal is coming up. It's Saturday, again, April 20th. I've been talking about it forever. So again, LakeLivingTN.com. Go there now or call and get an appointment and see this amazing property for yourself. Here's the number to make an appointment, 865-408-9992. Memories start here.
Now, listen, we have some exciting news. For many of you who have lived here a long time, you already know Eurofix has been in Middle Tennessee area for your European car repair needs now for 24 years. We've all gotten to watch them grow. And I don't know about you, but I love watching the hometown business take off. Well, we are now proud to announce the 5th location in Mount Juliet for Eurofix on Mount Juliet Road, right across the street from Dairy Queen. And Eurofix can serve you in Franklin, Hundred Oaks, Murfreesboro, Belmead, and now Mount Juliet. Pretty cool getting to watch a small-town mechanic start in the barn in the backyard of a single-wide trailer and now grow to 5 locations repairing thousands of cars each month. And at Eurofix, you get a 3-year nationwide warranty and a free loaner car with every repair appointment. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can just visit them online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com. But I always tell them Blaine sent you.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Thanks for hanging out with us on Friday. It is draft season. Few people know the draft like our friend Justin Melo, so we continue to call him, and he continues to answer just like he did. Again, he is at @JustinM_NFL, Draft Network, Titans MCM, Broadway TN, and everywhere. He's so coveted, you don't even have enough space on the paper to write down all the outlets he's writing for right now. Melo, just think about this, man. A week from today, 32 people will have been chosen in the NFL. We won't even be talking about what ifs anymore, at least for 32 people.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been a fun process, but to paint you a picture of what my life is like right now, I've got 6 interviews today. I've had an agent call me and say, I got the kid in front of me right now. You want to do a 7th? And I said, well, a little bit of heads up would have been nice. So I'm having a lot of fun, but I'm certainly ready for Thursday to get here as well.
Wow. People want to talk to you, man. They're just they're doing anything they can to get their prospects to get that ink from Justin Melo. So let me ask you, of all these guys that you've talked to and all these guys that you've studied, your current favorite middle or late round guy. So not some quarterback that everybody likes or some hot shot wide receiver, middle to late round guy that you really like.
Yeah, that's tough. I think one that I'm a big fan. There's some really good stories I'll tell you about in a second, but one that I'm a big fan of, and I think he might go earlier than mid, but Javon Baker, the wide receiver out of UCF, I think people are making a bit of a mistake here when he gets lost in the shuffle. Don't let that happen. You know, he went to the Senior Bowl. He had a really good week, and I understand this is a really, really deep receivers class. But if you look at some of the advanced metrics, some of the stuff that are telltale signs of pro success at the next level, there's some really good things that you can use to make those predictions. Javon Baker checks a lot of those boxes. One of them, yards per route run, average yards after catch per reception, separation ability. If you look at his reception perception profile, if you're not familiar with that, it's a fantastic tool put together a couple of years ago by Matt Harmon. He does incredible stuff. Javon Baker's got one of the best profiles in the entire class. The reception perception profile, they put out like this chart where they track every route run. So every out route, every over route, every go ball, you name it. And they put together like a success rate on those routes. Javon Baker's whole route tree is like green. Like he ran a bunch of unbelievable routes at UCF. He's a big-bodied guy. He's great at the catch point. I think this is a guy that's going to have a lot more success at the next level than people realize. I'll give you 2 quick stories from up here, from my neck of the woods here. I spoke yesterday to this kid who played at the University of British Columbia. Okay, he played college ball in Canada. He's got 13 top 30 visits, 13 of them. He's been in a different city every single day. Why, you ask? He is a 6'7", 353-pound tackle that ran a verified 4.8 at Pro Day. I mean, you want to talk about athleticism that is completely unheard of? This kid's got it in bunches. The other great story in this class, this Quantez Stiggers is going to become the 3rd player ever drafted that did not play a single game of college football, not in Canada or the U.S. He was committed to an HBCU right when COVID hit. Their season got canceled, so he never got to play. And then he left school due to a tragic death in his family that really, affected him, shook him up. So he decided to leave college. By the time it was time to get back into it, he struggled finding a place to go. Well, he ends up getting convinced to play in the fan-controlled league. I don't know if you remember that. It was like 7-on-7 indoor ball. He plays up there. He gets scouted by the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League. He played there this past year, and he won CFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. He had an incredible season. He's also got like 12 or 13 top 30 visits. I've been trying to get on the phone with him. He's got no time. He's in a different city every single day. Those 2 kids might be the best story of the draft next weekend.
What is his measurables, the second kid?
He's tiny. He's a nickel. He's probably a nickel only, but I think he led the league, like the Canadian Football League, in PBUs this past year. He had a bunch of interceptions. Like I said, CFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. It's an unbelievable story. The guy didn't play a single game of college football.
Gotta love these stories, and Justin Melo knows them all at @JustinM_NFL, covering it all for the Draft Network, Titans MCM, Broadway TN, and more.
Well, Justin, I want to get some comparables here for, I think, the kids. Mason Smith, the D-tackle from LSU, to, I don't want to mispronounce his name, the Alabama D-tackle, Ibakwe, or however you pronounce it.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
Justin Ibawigbe, I believe you're talking
yes,
about. I love both
and
of those
Darius
guys.
Robinson. Everybody.
Oh, okay.
So let's
Well,
put those all in the
Robinson-
bucket, and who would we take, or who would be there in the second round if we did?
I mean, Darius Robinson, for me, I've got like a borderline first-round grade on him, so he would be at the top of that list. I think there's a decent chance he goes in the first round, but I think it's like 50-50 that he's there for the Titans at 38. Like, people are acting like it's impossible. No, we're not talking about a guy, I think, that's going 14 or 15. If he goes in the first round, it's like 28, 29, and you and I both know, you could slide to 38 in a heartbeat, right, if you don't go with that pick there. So, inside outside versatility, 8.5 sacks this year in the SEC. He's rocked up, man. He's a get-off-the-bus kind of kid, right? Like, when you see him, there's an intimidation factor that comes with him. He's a massive human being, and he was outstanding at the Senior Bowl. That's, I think, what helped elevate his stock into a fringe first round. Justin Ibawigbe, the Alabama kid you're talking about, it's weird because I hate to say that an Alabama kid's being slept on. I mean, when does that happen? But it feels like it sort of is the case with this guy. He had a couple injuries early on in his career. I think that's why people are sleeping on him. He's finally healthy this year. He had 7 sacks at Alabama this year from the interior. I think he's he's not going to be a true edge, but I think he can play a couple positions across the line. He's really good in the run game. He's tough. He's physical. He knows how to shed blocks. He's a gap penetrator. I'm a huge fan of his. Like, I say this about maybe a couple guys, but I think there's a chance he goes in the second round. He might be one of those guys that goes in the second round and people are like, wow, I didn't see that one coming. But he's a really good football player. I feel a little similarly about Mason Smith, the D-tackle from LSU. I wrote a story on him yesterday. He had 12 in-person visits. So another guy that's in high demand. If you remember, he came to LSU as like a 5-star. He was a big-time kid coming out of high school. Didn't quite reach those expectations, had a couple injuries. But I thought this past year he played his best ball. He was finally healthy. He appeared in most of their games, and he put up the best numbers of his career. He felt like, he was so proud of the season that he had. He told me, he goes, I could have gone back for another year, but I was so happy with the year that I had. I felt, content enough where it was time to make the jump to the next level. That potential is still within him. That 5-star potential is right there. Again, a good year in the SEC at LSU. Teams are super intrigued. That's why they're bringing him in person to see what they think they can get out of him. I think with him, you're talking about another potential day 2 pick.
What about this slot receiver from Virginia, Malik Washington? I know Rhett Bryan was talking about him yesterday, and I would love when you're analyzing him, kind of compare him and the differences between him and Kyle Phillips with the Titans.
Well, I believe he's even smaller than Kyle Phillips,
Yes,
if memory serves me correctly. Yeah, I think he's like 5'9", right? So he's a super small kid, but the production speaks for itself, right? Like over 1,000 yards this year, and I think more than 100 catches. So it's like the numbers jump out at you. They jump off the screen. You watch that film on offense. You watch that tape. Like that offense centered around him, right? He was the focal point of that offense, and I think you'll agree with me, Blaine. I like a guy that's coming into the league and has been in those situations, right? Like when the offense needed a big play, they looked his way. We got third down. We want to move the chains. They looked his way, right? Red zone, game on the line, whatever. Even though he's not the biggest guy, they looked his way due to that separation quickness. He was uncoverable at the East-West Shrine Bowl. I'll tell you that right now. That showcase for him was outstanding because they couldn't cover him. Now, that's being honest, that's an environment that's perfect for him, right? Because you're those one-on-one practice reps. When you're a smaller guy, short area quickness, you're twitchy, you're going to uncover, right? So really interesting football player. I don't think he doesn't go until day 3, maybe the 5th or 6th round even. But again, another guy, don't let him get lost in this class because the production and the traits are certainly present.
One more guy, and that is a safety. My cousin there, Cole Bishop at Utah.
Look, Cole Bishop, another great Senior Bowl, okay? Outstanding Senior Bowl. Thought he did great things. You turn the tape on at Utah, I see a guy that can play essentially any coverage scheme in any situation, okay? When he was probably to play single high, 2 high coverage shells, he was on the back end. He showed enough range to do that. I thought he was even more of a natural, though, in the box because he loves coming downhill. He loves fitting in the run game. And I think he ran like a 4.33 or 4.34 at the combine. What? He's athletic and twitchy enough to come downhill and cover slots and tight ends one-on-one in man coverage. So teams are going to really appreciate that versatility. This is not a very good safety class, okay? All of them, it feels like, are either small or tested poorly, like guys like Tyler Nubin, who I was pretty high on going into the process. So many question marks in this class. I think, Blaine, if you were in this class, you'd be the first one drafted. I think there's no doubt about it. But Cole Bishop from Utah, he might be the first one because I think when I look at all of them, I put all of them in a bubble. I think he's the one that's checked the most boxes for me. None of them have a chance going in the first round, but I do think at least one of them will hear their name called in the second, and that could very well be Cole Bishop.
Oh, there you have it. Just Melo of at NFL Draft Network.
What's the best scenario for the tackles for the Titans, do you think, at 38? Let's say that Neighbors or Odunze is there and they say, we're just going to take him. We'll take a tackle at 38. What's the best possible scenario to find a left tackle?
The two guys that I would keep coming back to is two guys, again, they've got a chance back end of first, but I think there's a very good chance they'll be there at 38. It's the BYU kid, Kingsley Suamatia, and the Arizona kid, Jordan Morgan. In Morgan's case, the arm length leaves a little to be desired, but I don't think it's totally prohibitive to him playing tackle. I've heard the Ravens, by the way, they've got a lot of interest in him around. I think they're picking at 30. But if he's there at 38, I mean, look, he played in the Pac-12 this year. I don't care what anybody says. I know this is SEC country. I've got no bias here. Pac-12 was the best conference in college ball this year, and he was outstanding. Like, the tape was very, very good. Lots of great matchups against very good pass rushers, guys that are going to get drafted all throughout the Pac-12. In fact, one of them is my number one ranked edge in at.to out of UCLA. So I love the tape on Jordan Morgan. I think he's plug and play. He's not going to be a tackle for every team due to the arm length, but it's not like Peter Skoronski short. He's a little bit longer than that. I think he'll get a chance at tackle, and if he does, I can see him plugging a hole there at left tackle. And the BYU kid is just he's big, he's physical, he's strong. I'm glad you said left tackle specifically because there's not a ton of them. Once you start getting into those second and third rounds, right? You got like the Texas kid's a right tackle, the Washington kid is a right tackle. Those are mid-round tackle guys. I think Kingsley Suamatia, the BYU kid, he's one of very few legitimate left tackles. The other would be Houston's Patrick Paul. He's a little more raw, a little technically green. I've got higher grades on the other two, the BYU kid, the Arizona kid. Those would be my top two solutions if I'm looking for my left tackle at 38.
All right, my late round draft crush is Nathaniel Watson, linebacker Nathaniel Watson. I've been fixated on him. Late round pick, it's a position of need. Am I way off on this? Am I barking up the right tree? Where am I on Nathaniel Watson?
That's the Mississippi State kid, right? If memory serves me correctly. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. I got to know him really well, actually, throughout this process. We did a great profile on him in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. I thought he was good out there. Like those Mississippi State kids, Dina Kowalski, Jeffrey Simmons, Titans have had a lot of luck with them. They're tough, they're physical, they're nasty, okay? He comes downhill, he fits the run. He's one of the most physical linebackers in this class. Again, not an outstanding class of linebackers. A lot of them are very athletic, but a bit more, again, green technically. Like there are a lot of guys that are still learning how to play the position and how to play football with discipline, in all honesty. Like there are a lot of them that are interesting projects that have got great sideline to sideline range. But when it comes to diagnosing and pre-snap and being able to fit the run and get off blocks and be just a technically sound, smart football player, I think Nathaniel Watson's one of the smartest ones in the class. Again, really enjoyed getting to know him. People, make sure you go read that interview on thedraftnetwork.com. You're not off on that at all, Mickey. I'm a big fan of his. Really good day 3 prospect.
There you go, hanging out with Justin Melo, just telling us everything about the NFL draft.
Well, Justin, I was going to ask you about just receivers, but I'm going to broaden that up a little bit to help you out here. What top, top first-round draft pick has the greatest risk for bust?
Wow, that's a tough one. I think the Georgia kid, he's going to go early, Amarius Mims, right? He played right tackle at Georgia. There's good reason he's going to go early, right? The movement skills, the athleticism is off the charts. It jumps off the screen. But you're talking about a guy that's played like less than 600 total snaps over the past 2 years. right? He wasn't an instant starter when he got there. That doesn't bother me. That's how stuff sometimes happens at Georgia. You got to wait your turn behind other older, talented kids. But when he did get into the lineup, he was in and out of it, right? Like, I think it was under 300 snaps this year, and it was under 400 the year before. So when you're just talking about experience, I think that, that obviously comes with a bit of a buyer beware tag, if you will. Now, I hate even saying it because I am high on him. Like, when you turn the tape on, it's a dead giveaway. I might have said this on this show, but I was watching the tape with him, watching tape on him with an NFL agent a few weeks ago, and he said, "Where is he?" He knew his jersey number. He goes, "I don't think he's on the field." I said, "He is. Look at the arm length. It's a dead giveaway." That game, it was actually against Tennessee, I think. He was wearing a different jersey number.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he was honoring a teammate that passed away, so they allowed him to wear a different jersey number. We still knew who he was because of the arm length. I mean, no one else out there has got 35, 36-inch arms. It's that kid right there. He's in a stance and his arms are touching the ground, for crying out loud. So he's in a, like, I'm infatuated with the traits. I get why everyone else is infatuated with the traits. There's a great reason he's going to go early, but there's just not a lot of experience. So when you're picking a guy in the top 15, top 20, if you're expecting him to play right away, there might be a bit of an acclimation period there with that kid.
Well, here's a question I think a lot of draft experts and guys sitting in, GM sitting in the war room there on draft day is kind of outside of quarterback, give me your top 5 ranking of what position is the most valuable in today's NFL. We all know quarterback is number 1, but who are your other 5?
I always say this, and this is, I say this in arguments all the time, especially against Titans fans that don't want an edge rusher at number 7. And I get why you don't, but let's look at it like this, okay? There are 3 positions historically that have a chance to go number 1 overall, okay? It's the quarterback, it's the offensive tackle, and it's the edge rusher. Where do all 3 have in common? They all involve the quarterback, right? Yep. Either the quarterback himself, the guy that protects the quarterback, or it's the guy that tries to hit the quarterback, okay? Those 3 positions have gone number 1 overall every year, I think since 1997. There's no doubt about it that offensive tackle and edge rusher are the follow-up positions to quarterback. I would round out my other 2. I mean, wide receiver, they're going to fly off the board on Thursday for a good reason. We'll probably get 3 of them in the top 10. You see how much money they're making nowadays, right? Like, we're getting over $30 million a year. We will be very soon when Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase sign their new contracts. That would be number 4. Number 5 for me is a bit of a toss-up. I'd probably go with D-tackle, like a dominant 3-tech. A guy like Jeffrey Simmons, I think you see the type of value he has on the field. Quinnen Williams, Chris Jones, these guys have been so important to their teams that made either Super Bowl runs or playoff runs. It's funny. A couple days ago, I would have said cornerback, right? I would have said corner, probably 5th. You got to stop the pass. I'm going to give you guys a fact you probably don't know. Do you realize right now, and this blew me away because it didn't line up with what I thought. Right now, we have more guards making $20 million a year than we have cornerbacks. Right now in the league, there are more guards making $20 million a year than we have cornerbacks. As of right now.
No way.
100%. Wow. Look it up. On Spotrac, more guards. Look, Robert Hunt got $20 million this year from the Carolina Panthers, right? Look at the deal that Landon Dickerson got from the, I think it was 4 years, 464 or 3, something along those lines. Like, that's the type of money these guys are getting. Look at corner, Jalen Johnson. We all thought he was going to get $20 million a year from the Bears. He didn't get that. Look at some of the other big corners that came off the market. They didn't get that. So for whatever reason, look, your value, positional value, is what NFL teams tell you it is. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, look at L'Jarius Sneed with the Titans. I thought that was a fairly team-friendly deal from an annual average perspective. That didn't hit $20 million either. Look around the league. Your value is what it tells you it is. For whatever reason, the NFL is telling us cornerbacks right now are not $20 million players, but guards are.
There you have it.
Dude, people had to just pull over the car, Melo, to just factor through the things that you're telling here. It's like the first time they heard the first Boston album, they had to pull over the car when they heard More Than a Feeling. You're blowing people's minds here. Fantastic stuff. We're going to catch up again soon. At @JustinM_NFL. Remember, several of these guys, he's already said he's written draft profiles for. So go check it out. Draft Network. Also his work. Got to shout out Titans MCM and Broadway TM. Thank you, sir. And happy draft week coming up next week.
Pleasure's all mine, fellas. You know where to find me. We'll catch up soon.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it, bro.
Justin Melo. Gosh, always great catching up with him. How about that for a stat for you? All right, here's a stat for you. It's time for Call Your Shot. We'll do that next. What do we got on the line? 2 tickets to see Train and REO Speedwagon. Ooh. So you need to get your shot in the F&M Bank chat or on the phone, 615-737-1045. Best, most interesting shot gets 2 to see Train and REO.
Allergy season is upon us and pollen is in the air. But fear not, Cool-Ray has your back. And a $49 tune-up has your HVAC system running smoothly, keeping allergens at bay. Plus, enjoy 10% off indoor air quality products for an extra boost. So are you ready to say goodbye to your old HVAC system? Well, with Cool-Ray, it's out with the old and in with the new. And we'll even give you $1,000 for your old system when you upgrade with us. That's right. We'll pay you to breathe easier. But let's not overlook the little things that keep your home humming. Our $93 drain cleaning service ensures your pipes stay clear and stress levels low. And if you can't clear your drain, well, that's on us. So consider it our way of keeping things flowing smoothly. So with Tennessee's unpredictable weather, it's crucial to be prepared. That's where our whole home generators come in. With $1,500 off, you can keep your home powered up, rain or shine. So don't let Mother Nature catch you off guard. Let Cool-Ray be a beacon of reliability. So Tennessee, are you ready to embrace spring with confidence? Give Cool-Ray a call today and let us make this season a breeze. We're your partner in comfort, no matter the season. So here's to a spring filled with sunshine, smiles, and stress-free living. Cool-Ray, keeping Tennessee cool, plumbing right, and lights bright. Visit coolray.com to take control of your home's comfort. That's coolray.com.
Blaine and Mickey, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Time to call our shot. We do it this time every Friday, courtesy of our good friends at Chattanooga Whiskey. Awarded Best Craft Producer of the Year by Whiskey Magazine. How about that? Chattanooga Whiskey, Cask 111 and 99 Rye. The trifecta for any perfect pre-gaming that you're going to do. The perfect weekend deserves the perfect pour. Chattanooga Whiskey. And, of course, they bring you Call Your Shot. Now, here's the thing. Each Friday, we're going to call our shot, and we're going to make predictions for games or stats or bets. You can call any kind of shot. It doesn't even have to be sports-related. We like them all. You got a chance to call in and call your shot, a chance to win 2 tickets to see Train and REO Speedwagon. Think about that. All hits, all night long. First Bank Amphitheater, August 18th. You can call your shot now. Best shot gets them. 615-737-1045. That'll get you on there.
I'll kick things off today. My shot is going to go over to the SEC baseball landscape as we have a top 5 matchup this weekend between Tennessee at number 4 and Kentucky at number 3. Now, Kentucky, they're 14-1 in the conference, but I don't know how well that 14-1 really is because their SEC opponents so far this season are Georgia, who is 7-8 in conference play. They're 5th in the East. Missouri, they're in last place in the East at 5-10. Ole Miss, they're 5th place in the West at 5-10. Bama, who's 4th place in the West at 6-9. And Auburn, who's in last place in the West at 2-13 in conference play. I think Tennessee's going to win this series. I'm not calling the sweep, but I am calling they're taking 2 out of 3 from Kentucky, and they're going to prove that they deserve to be over Kentucky in the standings.
Yeah, it's a good matchup on paper.
Yeah, it is.
Kentucky's overall, what are they?
They are 31-5.
Okay.
And they're coming off a weekend where they lost. Oh, so last weekend they lost to Samford in their midweek game. Then they swept Auburn, who again is in last place in the West Division, and then they beat Louisville 17-13. So not a lot of pitching on that Tuesday night. But then Tennessee heads there to Kentucky, and Tennessee's offense has just been on one lately.
Yeah, they've been massive.
Leads the NCAA in home runs with, I believe, 101.
Vitello's teams hit the ball a long ways, and they got a bunch of dudes who can do it this year. Blaine Bishop, shot caller, big baller. What you got, man? I can't wait to hear this.
Well, this is coming from the Hitman mailbag.
That's got to be something that we start doing regularly.
Hitman's mailbag.
Hitman's mailbag is too good to not go ahead and patent that.
The Titans are going to take with the 7th round pick. Doom, doom, doom. Malik Neighbors. How about them, Hitman? If I get that right, boy, I was just picking just because everybody else knows it's going to be Alt. Hey, I'm going Malik Neighbors.
Alt may be gone. If Galt is gone, that means Neighbors or Odunze is going to be there.
We won't be on there. Well, we will be, but the draft will already be over in the first round. So on next Friday. So I'm going with Malik Neighbors.
There's this weird 4-wheeler thing out in the parking lot that we keep looking at.
Yeah.
If that happens, you get to take that thing for a ride.
Okay.
Up and down Broadway, just tooting the horn, saying I called.
Be having something to do to get the key.
We're gonna get the key. We'll get it. I bet Rich has got it. We'll get it. We'll take that thing for a spin, man. We'll do it.
Maybe I'll take that with me to Dubai.
Yeah, it's got some water tires because they got a little bit of rain over there. That's crazy.
I know some of it's true and some of it is not. Some people have added some fake stuff to that. I saw one with sharks in the airport.
Yeah.
That is not
true. Okay, you'll be safe in the airport then, just not in the streets, mean streets of Dubai. All right, Banana says we got to go. I'll call mine when we get back. Cousin P is on the line. Jason is on the line. Tommy and Rick would just want to ask draft questions or talk about other things. Here's the thing. We got all of the next hour to take calls, to call shots. We can do it all, but we'll finish up Call Your Shot as we start hour number 2 of the Friday edition of Blaine and Mickey, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. When trust matters. Well, this is my last chance to tell you what's going on. Your chance to get some lake property that you've been dreaming of. Maybe you just want to retire and live there. Maybe you want the weekend getaway. Maybe it's just where you want to live. You work from home. You live wherever you want to. Why not live at the lake? Saturday, April 20th. That's tomorrow. Experience resort lake living at a fraction of the price. This is near the Smoky Mountains. This is 20 minutes from Knoxville. You know how beautiful the country is up there. And you could have your own piece of lake property, whether it's a 2-acre wooded lot. Think about 2 acres. A lake cottage package with a boat slip starting under $349.9, or maybe just a nice lot with a boat slip. There's all there, and pickleball and coffee shop and clubhouse. Everything is there. This is your chance to get that piece of property you've been dreaming of. They got financing available. Go now to lakelivingtn.com. See it for yourself, or call and make an appointment. Get over there and get it done. 865-408-9992. Lake Life. Memories start here.
Good afternoon. It is 2 o'clock on the dot. I'm Just Melo from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. Some transfer portal news on this Friday afternoon for the Vols. Lady Vols junior forward Caroline Striplin is in the transfer portal. She averaged 7 points, three rebounds, and started in 11 of 33 games she played in for Tennessee last season. And former Tennessee big man Jonas Adu has reportedly been in contact with Kentucky's new coaching staff from the transfer portal. Adu is also taking a visit to Baylor this weekend. Tonight, the NBA play-in tournament continues for the 8-seed games. Bulls and Heat showdown in the East for a chance to take on the Celtics. The Heat will be without star Jimmy Butler. That game tips off at 6 p.m. Over in the West, the Kings and Pelicans go at it for an 8:30 tip with a chance to take on the Thunder. Zion Williamson will not be available for New Orleans. Big college baseball matchup this weekend as number 4 Tennessee travels to Lexington for a top 5 showdown with number 3 Kentucky. First pitch for Friday's matchup is at 5:30 p.m. You can catch the Vol Network call of that game in progress right after 3HL tonight, as well as game 2 and 3 of the series on Saturday and Sunday right here on The Zone. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone, second hour of the Friday show. Happy weekend to everybody. We'll just start the weekend now with shots all around. We're still calling our shots courtesy of our friends at Chattanooga Whiskey. So Bananas and Blaine got to call theirs. I will call mine, but
Jackson's in there calling one right now, man.
Jackson is laughing. We can hear him through the glass.
Yeah, bro, laughing, and we can hear you through the mic, man. What was you laughing about? You got
another right now. We'll see if something comes to me in a little bit.
But what were y'all laughing at?
Oh, I'm laughing at it because I walked in the middle of Joseph's update, and he thought I was standing right behind him, like watching him, but when I was totally over here, and that just made me laugh. I thought it was funny.
Oh, I thought something else happened there. Did you see where I think it was the Jaguars GM in an interview past gas?
Trent Baalke.
Yeah, Trent Baalke. You saw that?
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
I did not. I mean, they were talking about it. I did not push play, but could you actually hear it like on the video?
I was saving this for Ding Dong of the Week. So we have an early Ding Dong. So he's like, we feel like in this draft, excuse me, we
he just kept going.
Yeah.
Like it didn't even happen.
He didn't say excuse me, right? He didn't say anything.
He said excuse me.
Oh, he did?
He said excuse me, and then continued his
He's
thought.
like, so in this draft, we feel like, excuse me, we feel like that this is the draft. Just like, just like if you sneezed, you'd be like, oh man, excuse me. He just dropped a really quick excuse me and just kept on trucking.
Oh, did anybody ask me a question about it? No, you don't know.
All that they had was just him starting his sentence, tooting as my son says, and then just excuse me and keep on trucking. That was perfectly acceptable.
Oh, wow.
So now other people, if you find that anywhere, people will respond with other videos of like other NFL dudes.
Oh, really?
Yes, breaking wind.
An impressor?
Yes. I've never seen that.
Or heard that.
No, or smelt that. I've never. No, I have not.
Oh, man. That was a good lead into your tooting. So what was yours?
Rootin' tootin'. I haven't given mine yet.
Oh.
I don't think. I'm going to take these others, then I'll give mine. Let's get Cousin P. He was first up. Cousin P. Welcome
Cousin
into
P.
Blaine and Mickey. Cousin P.
Follow the 2-2.
Yes.
Yes. Good afternoon, gentlemen. So my side is a bit of a long one, so just follow me on this one.
Okay.
So I got LA at number 5. All right. I got them taking Malik Neighbors. I know that's Blaine. I know that's your guy, but I think LA is going to take Malik Neighbors.
Gotcha.
I think that 2 of the top 4 quarterbacks are going to fall. So what that's going to do is cause a domino effect. Minnesota's going to sit there and think, we can go ahead and get our quarterback of the future. I see Minnesota trading up with us, and we switch with their picks. That way they take one of those top 2 quarterbacks. I see Atlanta taking an edge rusher, so no worry there. Chicago's going to take the next available receiver up, which is Rome Undunes. I can't pronounce his name. Adunze. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Jets taking Brock Bowers, and the Titans with the steal taking Joe Alt and more draft capital. Let Rand cook. That is my take. That is my call, my shot. I love it.
Good. Let Rand
Cousin
cook.
P. I love it when people just cook up schemes that are completely plausible. I love it.
So
Then explain it in a way that I believe it.
So he said that the Vikings would trade 11 and 23, the one they got from Houston, to the Titans for 7. Titans go down to 11, still somehow get Joe Alt, and then they have another first-round
I
pick.
don't know.
That's a shot.
What else do the Vikings have? Because, man, I don't know. Could you get both of those for that move?
They don't have a third-round pick. Remember, we looked at this.
What else do they have? I got it right here. They have a fourth. They have 2 fourths actually. Nah, I don't think that's going to do it. I gotta have 11 and 23. That's what I gotta have.
Gotta have 23.
Gotta have 23. Boy, if Rand pulled that off.
There's this video going around. They're using different guys. They use Jay Billis, and they had Rand doing it where he's coming out on the stage, and they got him like dancing. How do they do that? You saw
AI.
that, and they did put in different people, and they get let Rand cook, and then they just use Jay Billis for another one, and it was somebody else. I was like, oh, that is sweet.
I saw one of
like they
Levis,
were going, Levis, like they were going onto a stage like to do a concert. How do they do that?
AI.
Oh,
Allen Iverson, he does it all.
Yeah, they call it
Allen
Allen
Iverson
Iverson.
Yeah, AI, Allen Iverson. He's the guy who does it. Or Andre Iguodala. He's a big Photoshopper. He did it. All right, Jason in the borough again. We got Train and Oreo Speedwagon. Tickets on the line. Jason, what you got? Call a shot for the tickets.
I got to do that. I'm working it this weekend.
I'll switch over to the Preds on this shot here.
Woo, do it.
Yep, I got one.
We're gonna break the curse, and old Buck Rising's gonna show up to the game on the third game. We're gonna be down 2-0 against the Canucks, and then he's gonna show up. They're gonna win the game the first time with him there.
Oh my!
And then they're gonna blow it out 4-2. Move on to the next round of playoffs.
Yeah, but he has that kind of power. We all know.
I think
the Preds going to sweep them. Sweep. Get the brooms out. Get them out.
I don't know if I'm ready for all that. but
I am.
The way they played down the stretch, though, I mean,
yep, they're gonna sweep.
I thought he was going to say that Buck would go there, sneak in a catfish, get down to the glass, throw the catfish over the ice, and inspire them to win.
Oh, that sounds just like Buck.
Buck would be so embarrassed. Buck would never touch a slimy catfish, first of all, much less saran wrap one to his
I was
person.
going to say, he'd have to put it up against his underneath his shirt.
Oh, my gosh.
He wouldn't do it.
It'd be amazing if he did that. Jay Hen just put broom emojis on here. I guess that's his shot, is that he's calling the sweep, just like Blaine.
Oh, somebody said that?
All right, you still got time. 615-737-1045. Vandy Man said the caller just jinxed them with that Buck mention. He doesn't have any faith in Buck. All right, here's mine. So this got leaked. The Texans' hideous third helmet. The Texans' hideously, ridiculously stupid third helmet.
They just had to do something because they know they're falling behind.
100%. And guess what? They had to put some baby blue on there. But Miss Amy owns that's the Oilers color.
That is not their colors.
Well, it's close.
Baby.
They stole
Blue?
They stole the version of the closest they felt like they could to the Oilers without getting in any trouble. But it's a blue helmet, dark blue, with the dark blue face
Navy
mask,
blue.
and then this weird letter H. Which is that on a bridge or something, or is there some significance to that font? Do you remember, that's the Houston H that's on the arch when you drive into Whataburger?
No.
Okay.
They just changed the color of it, and that's probably what's on the U of H University something. I don't know.
Okay, well, so you don't remember seeing the H everywhere, something like that.
No.
The letter A for Alabama. When you see that letter A, you're like, oh, that's Alabama.
No, some people say it's the Braves, but
100%, it's very similar. I think that helmet is so ugly that it's only going to last one season. I think they're going to ditch it all after one season. I think the response to it is going to be so bad, and already is. Bananas compared its ugliness to the City Connect Major League Baseball uniforms.
Of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Have you seen these?
You just made me think it's Connect's birthday today. Happy birthday,
Dalton Connect.
Happy birthday,
Dalton Connect could probably design a better Major League Baseball uniform than these.
Yeah, since we said happy birthdays, let me just add the other people that I know his birthday today.
Okay.
Yeah. Michael Barrow.
Oh, we just talked about it. Yeah, it's okay.
Because I had talked to him earlier today. And yours truly, Kirby Kirby Allen Kirby. Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Kirby.
Yeah.
He's probably out in his shop smoking and drinking Pepsi and listening right now. I hope he gets a pack of smokes and a 6-pack of Pepsi for his birthday. What a dream that would be.
Oh, my dream.
Almost. So that ugly freaking stuff is going to last one season, and they're going to pretend like it never happened, like the older brother on Happy Days. Bill in Lebanon with a shot. What's up, Bill?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good.
Always good when shots are happening.
I got a shot.
Shoot it.
Cowboys and the Chargers, they're going to swap Dak and Herbert, and Harbaugh is going to draft J.J. McCarthy.
Ooh,
Dang,
I
man.
love stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about. That's jumping off the top rope right there, man.
So they're going to swap quarterbacks, but then still take the rookie quarterback.
Right, and Dak is
1
looking
year
for a
left on
new
his deal.
deal.
Yeah, plays out his contract.
Plays out his contract. Herbert's already got his new deal, so that's probably saves Dallas money. And Dak plays for them for a year while McCarthy watches, and then Dak goes to a different team after next year.
Bill.
Bring
The fact that Bill was in Lebanon and just dreaming up shots like that, Bill, we salute you. All right, one final one, Chuck in Clarksville. Hey, you can go bananas with these in honor of banana. The crazier, the better, right?
Yes,
like that
I
was
love it.
fantastic.
Yeah, that was great.
Let's get Chuck in Clarksville next. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, Mickey and Blaine, mine's going to be Houston's going to wear those butt ugly helmets and a baby blue uniform when they play the Titans in this next season, and we're going to beat them at their place because they're wearing them.
Oh, you know they're going to wear that color against us. 100% when the Titans roll to town.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got one quick one right here from Jay Hen. My real shot is that Nashville will have a WNBA team, and they'll be called the Nashville Harps. Why Harps?
Harps.
Something to do with music?
It has to be because harps are musical instruments. Hey, the NBA commissioner said at their draft, we're looking at these cities, and Nashville is one of them.
They were the last one they said.
Women's basketball in this state with Pat Summitt. And you, hey, don't have to build an arena. Nothing would shock me if that were to happen, but they do have to think of a good name. I don't know if I understand the harps thing, Jay. You may have to explain that in the F&M Bank chat. But I'd be very interested to see what they were called. All right, we'll take a break. In the break, stay on the line if you're on the line. Tommy and Rick will take your calls when we come back. We'll go straight back into draft coverage and more. So if you're online, hold on. We'll also pick a winner. Those are some good shots. We do it every Friday on this program. Back with more Blaine and Mickey next. NBA play-in tournament. I'm not going to lie. I really like this thing. Gives teams a chance to play their way into the postseason. It's exciting, and that kind of excitement only makes it seem right that new customers on FanDuel can play their way into $150. You just place any $5 bet, and you're going to get $150 in bonus bets, and that's win or lose to use during these NBA playoffs. Give me the Kings over the Pelicans. Do it. Give me a double-double for Sabonis. The guy's literally a walking double-double, right? I think he'll have a big night all around. And also, I think Brandon Ingram going to pick up some scoring slack. I think he's going to get a lot of shots. So a big scoring night for Brandon Ingram. And you can bet it how you want to, though. Just go to FanDuel.com/Mickey and get yourself started. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. You do have to be 21 or older, though, present in Tennessee. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. It expires 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
So many people trust Two Rivers Ford. Football players, working moms, business owners. Why? Because Two Rivers Ford has been doing business with integrity for decades. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Found her. Blaine and Mickey, 1045 The Zone. Let's take some of these calls. 615-737-1045. The NFL draft. We'll be talking about who they're going to take on day 2 of the draft this time and who they've already taken. Tommy and Rick want to jump into the mix and start with Rick, who wants to jump in with a draft question. Hey, Rick.
Hey, boys. Thank you for taking the call. Okay. You two are in the war room as part of the staff with Rand and the boys. And you have on your big board all of the best players, doesn't matter what position. And so try to take away what you personally think as radio dudes. But you're in the war room, and everyone agrees and believes on that board that Neighbors is the 6th best player in the draft. We got 7th pick, and Alt is the 8th best player in the draft. I know that everybody talks about picking the best dude regardless. What I want you guys to hypothesize with your intelligence, you definitely have, is that if it comes to 7 and number 6 wide receiver, which is something we could definitely use, but nothing like freaking left tackle. And so do you reach a little baby hand up to grab 8 at Alt, or do you go like, oh crap, man, I can't leave Neighbors there. I got to get him, even no matter how bad we need it, because I'm in the room too with you.
Okay.
But I can't be. So it's like I'm looking at it. My philosophy analytically, personally, would be I got to get Alt, because you can always be wrong on these draft picks anyway on how great they might. There are guys that fail. They don't meet expectations. So our best belief is all that, and so I got to grab Alt. And then lastly, I'll be short, is if you two would grab Alt, how far up the draft, 9, 10, 11, would you feel, oh crap, I got to grab Neighbors, that's too high? Okay, go.
Okay, thank you for the call, Tommy. Neighbors or Alt, Blaine, which could very well happen. It could happen.
Mm-hmm. So what you got?
I know Neighbors is your guy.
Well, that's what I gave Jim White. The safe players always go tackle Alt.
When you look at Neighbors, if they draft him, do you look at that guy and say you could put him in the slot with the 2 guys you already have? Mm-hmm. Do you like his skill set? And I know you like receivers who play all over.
Yeah, I do, but I think he can definitely do slot.
So then suddenly you're the Bengals, where you have a formidable slot receiver and 2 formidable guys on the outside. And Boyd was a slot receiver, and Neighbors could very well be better than Boyd. Yeah. I mean, his draft position says he's starting out that way for sure. So then you have 2 guys on the outside who are proven veterans. You got a guy on the inside that many people have even said might be the best receiver in the draft.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I would be fine. I told you I'm fine either way.
Or do you just go, nah, we'll take Alt because we really need a left tackle?
If they're that close and there's a need, then who's ranked ahead of another by 2 slots is not, I'm going to take the offensive tackle. That's what I would do. I want safe play. Because first of all, I got to see what Levis really is. Mm-hmm. Some people say, well, you're going to see what Levis is if you got another weapon. Not if he's on his back. So, yeah, they got to get this tackle. I mean, and I hate it because you're looking, you're drafting 2 offensive linemen in the top 10 2 years in a row, pretty much. What was Skaronski, 11?
11th, yeah.
Yep.
11. So that's what I said pretty much. So it's really a tough pill to swallow, but I think it has to be done. They're both available. I'm going tackle. Yeah, no question. I'm assuming that's why with Jim Wise, when he came out of the mailbag, that Alt is going to be gone and Jimbo there, and I mean Harbaugh, is going to do the okey doke and take Alt. So then I'm saying I'm taking best player. If that happens, then I'm taking best player on board. And it's all predicated because of the thought process that this year's draft, you can get a quality tackle at the bottom or at the beginning, middle of the second round. This is a deeper draft for now. If that wasn't true, that's why I said every draft isn't the same.
Right.
If that's not true, then I'm not doing that. See, because I feel like I can go either way. That's why I would feel comfortable with every decision. Either way. What about you? What about you, Bananas?
I'm with Alt. Alt was my first pick.
It's your ride or die.
Like, the only way I'm okay with them not drafting Alt at 7 is if Alt is not there at 7.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's what my neighbor's pick is. That was my thought process.
That Alt isn't there.
Not that I'm not taking Alt over. I mean, I'm taking Alt over neighbors. It's that I don't think he's going to be there.
For me, it's, and I'm looking down the line. So when Devontae Smith got his contract renewal from the Eagles, that means they have two guys who are $25 million a year. It's an extension, but people are just saying his contract is now $25. So I have two guys who make that. So that made the 9th highest paid receiver in the NFL at 23 is Calvin Ridley at 23 per year. D-Hop makes 13. This is the last year to have D-Hop. So if D-Hop has the same year as last year, if I'm D-Hop, I'm like, I'm going to need a minimum of $23 million a year, if not 25. I don't know if they'd want to pay that. If you have Neighbors or Odunze already, you think D-Hop for his time, he's going to make so much money somewhere. If he has a similar year to last year, then I've got another contract. And I know I've got my quarterback on a rookie second-round draft pick contract, and that's helpful. But then I'd have my receiver ready. That's if I feel like there's another left tackle that I can take at 38 and I'll be fine.
Well, I wouldn't think like that because you're not taking into account those players are young, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. D-Hop is not, even though his play is still producing. He is not going to get a $20 million contract extension. His average salary, I would say I would give him 15 or 16. That is about as far I will go because at some point, Father Time is going to catch him, even though his game will last. So, no, I'm not doing that. So I don't, he may can get on the market for a desperate team, a not very good team. But if he's smart and he sees what we got here, I think he would take a modest raise and extension here, which he's making 13 now. All of a sudden you go to 15, 16. I think that's a great, because theoretically he's really a 2. He was just a number 1 on this team.
Sure.
So because of the situation. I don't, you get paid based off age and production. Then once you're still producing, they are now playing against you in negotiations that you will have that downward tick. Let's just use Kevin Byard for the example.
Yeah.
So his play didn't decrease, but, some people, he wasn't making a play. Yeah, he was still making the same plays. There was no opportunity, so, hey.
And you never know. You could be in a position next year to draft a rookie wide receiver in the first round.
Hopefully not high, but
I don't know if you're going to be in another position to draft the number one left tackle again.
Very true.
So you're making too much sense there, Bananas. Let's see what kind of sense Tommy makes, who's calling from the borough. Hello, Tommy.
Hello, Mickey. Thanks for having me. First of all, that Justin guy, what a gem. I mean, you really have to pull over the car when he starts talking. And
yeah,
I agree with Blaine. I think it's going to be Neighbors. And I might be, I'm sure I'm missing something here, but who had the worst offensive line other than the Titans last year? That was the New York Giants. And when Daniel Jones had blocking, he won 10 games. So the Giants, I would think that they would be looking at Alt and they might take Alt instead of a backup quarterback to Jones. I know they made some acquisitions in the off season, but they have line problems just like the Titans. So I'm thinking there's a possibility they might take Alt. I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah, that's what they say. Tackle or receiver they're going to take. They're in the same position as the Titans.
So that wouldn't surprise me any if they did. Mm-hmm. And every time the aspect of the Chargers taking a tackle comes up, somebody always jumps in the chat and says, they have tackles. They got tackles. This is Jim Harbaugh, though. We don't know what he's going to do. We don't. He may see this guy's immediate replacement, maybe even on the right for now, then move him to the left after the next year. So we don't know what he's going to do, but enough people keep saying it that somehow this has come up somewhere. Because it's just a random thing that he keeps getting mentioned as a possibility of the Chargers. But I've said this over and over. And the Giants have needs, man. They're such a wild card ahead of the Titans.
They could literally go quarterback, offensive lineman, receiver. They could go the best defensive player on the board. They're in a position where they could and need to pick everything.
Why do you believe that they may take a quarterback?
They just to me it seems that they've lost faith. I don't think they will take a quarterback.
But you just said that was your first choice.
I said that they could.
Yeah, they could. You said quarterback, wide receiver.
I was just going down the list. But the reason why I think it's plausible that they could is because I think they have and despite paying him how much did they give him a year?
4 years, 160.
See, you're not adding the tea leaves. You're reading what people are saying.
Well, I'm saying
the tea leaves they can't take a quarterback.
I never say never, Blaine.
I ain't say never. I said they can't. It's almost, they just gave him the money. That's like, okay, we just gave Ridley the money and next year we cut him. It's not going to happen. That storyline, it can't happen. He tore his ACL. Did he play well? No. He tore his ACL and played 6 games, Daniel Jones. And then they're throwing his face out there and he's doing interviews. So to me, that tells me they support him. If they didn't, they'd have him in the backdrop. Why they letting him do a press conferences? Put his name out there? See, so this is when you have to add up and you can't just believe what we're hearing. If they draft a quarterback, I'd tip the cap. But that would, to me, would be somebody may get fired. Because you had to make that decision that you support him, you gave him the money. Then he had a torn ACL, and then you had nothing around him, and his offensive lineman kept getting hurt?
Yeah.
So is it him or was it the line? So I don't know, man. That's a tough pill, like, to swallow when you pay a quarterback. Now, if they took one in the second or third, yeah. But man, somebody made a boo boo. If I'm the owner, I'm like, then why did we give him the money?
Oh, I have some, yeah.
Unless it has some out clause where they can actually get out of the contract.
No, they're way underwater in this.
Even
deal.
if they don't take a quarterback,
you're looking at it right now.
Even if they don't take a quarterback, I'm still why they give him that amount of money because they made the playoffs the first year under Dable. He played all right. He wasn't worth that much.
Yeah. And here's what I think. That's why they are leaking that out and telling people to start talking about they need a quarterback. Guess what? They want somebody to trade up for the 6th pick. See, that's why I said you got to read the tea leaves. They just signed him. There's no way they're getting rid of the quarterback. I mean, not no way, but it's like that was, then y'all shouldn't have gave him the money unless you can get out of the contract. It was a 1 year. All right, we're going to give you big dough for 1 year, and then the next year, not so much. You're still eating a lot of money.
It's essentially even money for them to cut him after next year.
That's like cutting Big Jeff after 1 year.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
So you said that if they cut him next year, like that is their out, is after next year, right?
Next year is
after this coming season.
Even
after
money
this
to cut
season.
him. And if he's post June 1, it would split it. So they'd be right side up if they cut him after June 1 of next year.
So
but that leaves the opening that to Banana's point though, we're gonna get a guy to sit behind him and wait a year.
And do the Packers or the 49ers situation.
Next year is the year you can dump
where they had a guy to sit for a little bit, or the Patrick Mahomes type of situation. You have a guy to sit and then have him ready.
For like 3.
There's a love for Andy Reid loves quarterbacks. If you go look at his history, he's done that everywhere he's gone, and he'll have 2 or 3 quarterbacks. So I think he's a special because he's really good at evaluating them. The Love stuff to me that's a new GM. He was trying to tell Aaron Rodgers, I'm the new show in town and I'm getting a quarterback. That's what that was about.
Yeah.
We ready to turn the page. I don't know. It could possibly be, but man.
For me, their best scenario is drafting one of those skill players, one of those wide receivers.
Yeah, they say they have no wide receivers. Didn't Hyatt go there? How did he do?
The Giants, Hyatt.
Yeah, how did he do?
It was
500 yards?
He did not play that much. He did not play that much.
No, it wasn't.
He didn't play that much.
Like, he was not like super involved.
So he was standing on the sideline?
I'm going to tell you. Because I
thought he had like 500 yards. I saw a couple highlights where he was doing what he did in college. Then his other games,
he played in all 17 games. He had 23 catches for 373 yards and no touchdowns.
What? I saw him score a touchdown one time.
It might have been in preseason, but he didn't score one during the season. He had a couple solid games where like he made some really flashy catches and some big plays, but they did not like exclusively utilize him.
And because I'm thinking, how many snaps? He played half the snaps. He played in every game. He played 51% of the snaps.
I mean, so he was getting some clock.
He got some clock. He played half the snaps. So he was very much in the rotation.
Watch this. Did his stats beat Traylon Burks?
Oh, by a landslide.
Yeah.
Look, what happened? I thought Burks didn't have 300 yards. No,
Burks had 333.
That's what I'm saying. What are you talking about?
He did have 300?
Yeah,
I was thinking he only had like 200.
I think he had 333. Jalen Hyatt beat him.
Jalen Hyatt beat him?
Yes.
I thought Burks beat him by 10.
No, I'm going to look it up right here.
I thought Burks had, or Jalen Hyatt had 323.
Traylon Burks only had 220.
Oh, I thought he had 320.
So he beat him by 150 yards.
He beat him.
And he only had
I was thinking
7 more catches.
I was thinking of year one. He had 444, and Bananas is right. He had
just the fact that we're comparing him to him is not good. So it's just gonna be rough sled for those speed guys in the NFL because it's that offense, man.
So Hyatt, like
that offense in the NFL is not the same.
In the first game, he had 1 target, no stats. In the second game, he was 2 for 89.
Yeah, that's the game I saw.
That was against Arizona. Then against the 49ers, he had no stats. Then against against Seattle, he was with the Giants, 2 for 10. Then the next game, he had no stats. Then the next game, he had 4 targets, 3 catches, 21. Buffalo, then they played Washington. He had 5 targets, 2 catches, 75 yards. Then he had no stats. So he was like on, off.
So every time he did well, they didn't come back and kind of...
The next game is like he didn't exist, except...
Oh.
Well, no. I mean, he had one little stretch in November.
He going to get hot, man. He going to be like, I know he throw me the ball.
Where they played Washington and beat him. He had 1 catch for 7 yards on 2 targets. Then the next week against New England, he had 6 targets, which was his most. He had 5 catches, which was his most. He had 109 yards.
So that's where he got the bulk of his...
Third of his yards came against the Patriots in
game
week 12.
Oh.
So these are the Giants wide receivers on their roster currently. Darius Slayton.
Yeah, that's Mickey's guy.
Wan'Dale Robinson. Jalen Hyatt. Isaiah McKenzie. Dennis Houston. Isaiah Hodgins.
I knew you were going to
and Chase Cota and Miles Boykin.
Miles Boykin.
I remember Boykin.
So that's why I think that wide receiver is something that they should really go after. Because they have the offense, they have some offensive linemen. They just need to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. They have a quarterback who they already paid. So you paid him, like Blaine said, paid him, might as well play him.
Got to play him for a year.
Go get him a weapon.
Yeah, that's why they were leaking. They were leaking it out that we may take a quarterback. They were doing it. They were telling, that's the game. And see, that's why I said you got to read the tea leaves and you got to be able to say, that doesn't make any sense. That's like people are saying that the Titans need to draft a quarterback.
Yeah, that's dumb.
It's some national media people who are saying that. And then they're trying to, I'm like, so you think Will Levis's not very good? Like, I mean, I think they need to see more.
Right.
But they definitely rolling with him this year.
Man, that receiver room.
It's the who's who of you don't know. At the Giants.
The highest.
Oh my gosh.
The highest rated guy would be Sterling Shepard. He was a second-round pick. That guy out of Oklahoma a couple years.
Yeah. He wasn't there last year, though.
Yeah, I don't think he's there anymore. I don't think he's there anymore.
Yeah. Oh, is he off there? No, they still show him.
They just cut him. They just cut him after the season. He's not there anymore.
Okay.
But he might have played last year. Yeah, number 3.
Yeah, he didn't play. He didn't do much last year.
Oh, he didn't?
No, and he's like the highest, and he's older now. He's 31.
Yeah, he's a free agent.
Yeah, okay. Oh, so I pulled up the current roster, and he just still shows on it on Pro Football Reference. Yeah, if I'm Jalen Hyde, I'm like, hey, man, I better excel this year.
Yeah,
they can't forget about me from game to game this year.
Even if he gets a first round guy, and then they're featuring that guy, just you getting 50 catches if you're the number 2
with his speed. Yeah. All right. There's a fun Friday draft scenario out there provided by, of all people, FanDuel. We're going to hit you with this next. For a team that needs more people and more draft picks, this is really interesting. You stick around. We'll tell you all about it next. It's Blaine and Mickey. It's Friday, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. The NBA play-in tournament. You got to admit, this is fun stuff. It's exciting. Teams trying to scratch and claw their way into the postseason. Seems only right, though, during this time of optimism for teams, that new customers on FanDuel can play their way into $150. You just place any $5 bet. You're going to get $150 in bonus bets, and that's win or lose to use during these NBA playoffs, which just getting started. Got a long ways to go. Give me the Kings over the Pelicans. I'm feeling it. Give me big night, double type night for Sabonis, and a big scoring night for Brandon Ingram. It just feels like that's going to happen. And however you think it's going to happen, go to FanDuel.com/Mickey, and you can get started on FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. You'd have to be 21 or older, though, present in Tennessee. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. It expires 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. So we have this F&M Bank chat. Shout out to everybody who watches online with us every day. We appreciate you. Wherever you listen, we appreciate you. But if you're watching online in various places, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or whatever, you can just type out responses and send them to us. Day after day after day after day, people in this chat fight about Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers!
We're only on 2 hours. For 2 hours a day, probably all day on the other shows as well. People fight about Brock Bowers.
I want the Titans straight back, get Brock Bowers. I'm serious. And pick up picks.
Okay, well.
I do. That is my dream scenario. I think everybody wins. The fans, the organization gets the number one tight end. You get a playmaker. I don't know about it. Everybody, at least he can hopefully get in the way on blocking.
If Joe
then
Alt
you get a
is
tackle
gone,
in the second round.
If Joe
and
Alt,
you pick up a third-round pick. With my scenario.
Okay.
We all win.
If Joe Alt is gone, I'm
win.
100% down for that.
Glorious! Just like the Predators.
Well, I was going to say, that song's about to be playing in this playoffs again. Of all people, FanDuel tweeted this out.
What is that?
FanDuel.
Your buddies.
FanDuel, my friends.
Yeah, they were the friends of Porter. That guy got Untitled Porter.
Oh, gosh. Oh, they'll be friendly with you for sure.
He ain't got no money now.
Here's a tweet. It's a picture of J.J. McCarthy. It says J.J. McCarthy to Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, gosh, how could that happen? They don't pick until, 12?
12.
Were they 12?
You're thinking, gosh, what in the world? How could that even happen? Well, here's the question in this tweet. Should the Broncos and Titans link up on draft day to trade if the Michigan quarterback is still available? So it has hashtag Broncos country, let's ride, and hashtag Titans.
Tighten up.
Who says no? Picture of J.J. McCarthy with the Titans logo and the Broncos logo. Broncos get pick number 7, 2024 first-round pick of the Titans. It's pick number 7, and they would take J.J. McCarthy, which I like J.J. McCarthy, I think, a lot more than a lot of other people do. That's just me.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
Here's what the Titans would get. They get 12th overall, obviously, so they go from 7 to 12. They go back 5. Bet you Bowers is still there. They get a 2025 first, so that's 2 firsts next year. They get a 2024 fifth-round pick, so it's an extra fifth-rounder for this year. And before anybody goes, screw that. If you got multiple picks later, you can always package those picks and move up.
Mm-hmm.
And a 2025 fourth-rounder as well. So you give the Denver Broncos pick 7, and they get their quarterback, which, by the way, that could very well happen that he's sitting there, and if somebody wants him, we talked about this either yesterday or a couple days ago, somebody wants a quarterback, the Titans get pick 12, a 25 first rounder in 2025. They get an extra fifth rounder this year. They could use however they want to, and then an extra fourth rounder next year.
Now, see, if you do that.
I got to get a third-round pick.
Well, see, if you do that, I think you have to have in place maybe trading that fifth-round pick and that 2025 fourth to try and move up into the third.
Get yourself a third for those picks.
And have a different trade partner.
I would try to get a pick, a third-round pick this year.
Let's see what
I
else.
don't know the matrix. There's different scales you can use to tell you what you should be getting for that movement.
The Broncos have pick 76. That's a third-round pick.
I got to get that.
So do you?
I give them that fifth.
Would you tell the Broncos, we'll do it for, obviously, we're switching first-rounders, and we'll take your 25 first-rounder. Of course, we're going to take that. But instead of that fifth and that fourth, we'll take this year's third.
I would do that.
An extra first-rounder next year and a third this year to go back 5 spots. And I bet you, some people think the Jets might take Bowers.
Oh. Yeah, that is true.
But if the Jets take Bowers, I bet that would put Fashanu. I bet that would push him back to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because so that happens.
So you still win. I think I would do with that third-round pick.
The third-round pick
this year.
We're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Look at us, man. We're just like GMs
So at that
here.
point, so it would be Williams 1, one of the May Daniels at 2-3, whatever combination they want to do that. Marvin Harrison 4. 5. Are we saying the Chargers take Joe Alt at that point? Because let's just say Joe Alt's off the board.
Okay.
Because that's kind of where I'm at. If the Titans trade back, it's because Joe Alt's not there and they want to, and they know they can't get him. So Joe Alt at 5. We'll say the Giants take Malik Neighbors at 6. So there's your number one. There's your 1A, 1B off the board, and that's why you traded back. So 7 is McCarthy. 8, Dallas Turner. That's kind of where I've seen him mocked at to the Falcons. 9, Roma Dunze.
Dunze, yeah.
10. So you said Bowers at 10.
There are some people who think Bowers will go 10 to the Jets.
Mm-hmm. And then the Vikings at 11, they go quarterback. Maybe a Michael Penix. And then that would leave Olu Fashanu right there at 12.
Drop right in your lap. I think people would lose their expletive if that happened.
And then you got a second first-round pick next
Greg Cosell said he didn't like all at 7. You should take Neighbors. Is that true?
Yeah, so like a few months ago, Greg Cosell was on 3HL, and he said that he didn't like Joe Alt's tape, called him too passive. His hand said he was really passive with his hands, his technique stuff.
Okay.
Not that he didn't like Joe Alt as a prospect, just his tape. He liked Olu Fashanu more because Olu Fashanu is a more aggressive left tackle when it comes to like using his hands and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. This Tankathon mock, again, Tankathon's a great website. You can look up everybody's draft picks and everything. It has not trades or anything. It just has the draft getting like just straight drafted by every team in their current spot. It has the Broncos taking Terrion Arnold at 12, but it has Olo still on the board that he would go next to the Raiders. So their version of the draft, you could still get Olu at 12. He'd be there.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Verse, Liatu, Latu, who a lot of people think might be the best edge. He just has some medical questions. I mean,
watch the Titans go like completely in the left field and like draft a defensive player, like a cornerback or one of those edge guys. Just watch it happen. We're sitting here talking Alt versus Neighbors, versus Bowers, tackle versus skill player, and then they go after a defensive player.
I'm going Neighbors. They go Neighbors. They're gonna get a tackle in the second. Then they're going to pick up a third and get a receiver. Oh, that's 3 offensive players right there.
After taking all offense last year and
Fourth
not solving your
middle
problems.
linebacker. Or edge. Man.
I'm still pick at 7, trade back in the second if you can. Trade back in the second to get your third. That's where I am, but I mean, we got...
And you only trade back in the first if 1A, 1B are gone.
Right. Yeah. Our 1A hour and 1B hour are both gone. So it's time for 3HL. They'll be on for like 3 hours. So you got plenty of time to ride with them, but we got to go.
So in the meantime.
In between time.
Peace.